at it again. Had to come back out into the living room because, you know, your girl needs to change scenery sometimes. Anyhow, anywho, I am in the middle of chapter 11. I know I said I was going to go straight to bed last night, and I was at the beginning of chapter 11, but, you know, I had to read a little bit because, you know, I was a little bit nosy because this book is still good. It's got a lot going on, and I need to figure out what had happened. And anyhow, Unspeakable, Kevin O'Brien. Yes, I say it the way I say it. And we at 7 hours, 11 minutes, 56 seconds, something like that. And Colin still got to figure out what's going on with his life. He is now to the point of where Gail suggested that he go get professional help, and someone broke into Gail's house, stole her laptop, trashed her room, all the stuff and all the things, and it looks like someone's following Colin, and so it's like a lot of stuff going on. You thinking Colin killed his people because of his split personality, but then at the same time he might be reincarnated a serial killer called Wade and Ganell, and I'm like, yo, what had happened for real, y'all? I need y'all just lay it out. Like, show me the details, give me the deets, spill all the tea. What had happened? But anyway, he was suggested to go see his girl's aunt, Gail aunt Olivia, and so he was like, yeah, maybe I'll check her out or whatever. But he then got found out that he went to the old folks home to go see old lady about her family and how she got her burns and everything, because she was the only one to survive that. And so when the old lady, like I said, saw him, she about fell out. And so he got found out because he skipped school that day. And Grandpa is getting on his case right now, like, yo, bruh, I covered for you. You know, I told him that you were doing an errand for me and all other stuff. But don't let your grandma know that you were lying to her. What she don't know won't hurt her. But still, get your stuff together. Get it together, brother. And so, anyhow, he was like, you right, Grandpa. I'm sorry. I won't lie to y'all again. But, you know, I was just feeling blue and I wanted to go back to my old neighborhood and see what was going on and everything else. Lies again. He's lied to his grandpa and then tell him that he won't lie to him no more. I mean, come on with it. Grandpa, like I said, he got the dough. And if he mess up with Grandpa, he gonna be in the streets, in the streets. Okay. Anyhow, we back at it again. We gonna start this timer. We gonna resume, and we gonna be reading. All right. Yo, Grandpa heard Wade in the middle of the night, like 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning, old buddy is asleep. Colin says he is asleep. But Grandpa woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I guess go to the bathroom or whatever, and he heard somebody else. And he was like, yo, you sneaking up somebody up in this house? Like, all you have to do is say something, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be sneaking people in the house. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I heard the voice. And it definitely wasn't yours. So I walked up to your door and I was listening. And then, you know, like, what happened? Like, why are you sneaking people in the house? And he's like, Grandpa, I ain't sleep nobody in this house. And he thinking in the back of his head, Colin's like, oh snap. I was wondering if Wade was coming out when I was asleep. And, oh, well, I guess I got my answer. Well, I guess you did, man. Shoot. This look. Oh, also, his grandma ain't his grandma, okay? So she's like the step grandmother, because the other grandmother passed away from cancer, I believe. And so Grandpa remarried 8 years later, and you know, of course, his crazy mama did not like the the new grandmother. And so, you know what I mean. You know how I go. But yeah, there you go. Wade did come out. He did go out in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning after his grandpa was just talking about it. He killed Gail and the family. That's all I gotta say. Found Fernando's body. Why? They later found his backpack and his clothes, but they did not find his phone yet. Curiouser and curious. Mind you, a little bit earlier in chapter 12, a buddy went to the house in Gail's house. Colin went to Gail's house and found out everybody was burned up and everything else. So he went back home after his grandmother left and told his grandpa everything. He's like, yep, this dude named Wade. I mean, he showed him the videos, he showed him all his stuff, and then he saw his muddy shoes and his clothes smelled like gasoline from the night before. When he asked him, did you go out at 3:30 in the morning, and blase blase. So he shows Grandpa all his stuff, and Grandpa's like, look, I believe that you feel like something went down, but I need you to delete everything. He took his clothes, put them in the bathtub, ran the hot water over it. Like he's messing up evidence, okay? He's like, look, you may have had this stuff happen to you during your hypnosis and everything else, but you done with all that, okay? So we're deleting everything. We're deleting everything about the videos. We're deleting everything about Mr. Wade and everything else. And you're going to delete all this evidence and this all this stuff because you are just crazy enough to think that you were the one who did all this stuff, and some other people might think that, hey, you might be right and you already have enough troubles going on. So no, delete everything. Delete it all. Then he was like, you know what? Oh, is this a camera of some sort on his computer? He's like, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to turn this camera around to you before you go to bed and hit record. And this way, if you're sleepwalking and everything else, we're going to talk to a doctor about it. Not a hypnotist. We're going to go to a doctor. And that's Grandpa's way of handling everything. Okay, I'm going back to reading now. Alright, so I'm back again. Here's another update. I'm at 3 hours, 29 minutes and some change, and I'm on page 197 out of 340 that's on this thing. It's 57% of the book according to the Kindle. And so right now we're just about to get into chapter 19. I can't remember the last time I updated y'all, but it seems like now where they're trying to tie everybody together, and they had the funeral for Gail's family, which is Olivia's niece, and so now they're throwing in, you know, more build up, more mystery, more everything else, and it's getting crazy. And now the story's starting to lag a little bit, only because they're trying to throw in like who else could have done it, and they're even now saying like they're throwing suspicion at Ian, which is the detective that came to protect him, and he was friends with the detective and everything else. Come to find out, the detective, Grandpa said, was suspended for beating up a child or a teenager not too much older than Colin himself. So that's why Grandpa don't trust him none too kindly. And there was someone in their yard running around in the mansion area, and so Grandpa saw the person, went right up to the window, looked in, but they didn't get a good look at him. And so he was on the phone with Ian at the time, and so Colin said that Ian sounded like he was out of breath, like he was running from like something or someone. So he feels like he's a little suspicious of Ian. So that was the last thing I remember reading. So I'm gonna go back at it again. Hopefully I can finish this tonight. But I have over 140 pages left, and as y'all saw, it took me just that long to get down to hour 3 and some change. So I doubt I'll finish this tonight, but we'll give it a shot. This is night 2 of reading it. Dedicated reading it, and reading it only. This is what happens when you're a slow reader. Gotta love it. See you later. All right, we're working on day 3 on this book. I cannot seem to get through this thing. I have no idea why. Maybe it's because it's on the Kindle. I'm more of a physical book girly, but here we go. Last thing I remember, in the wee hours of the morning, chapter 1920, that Olivia went and did a little investigation of her own of Wade, and so she can get a better understanding of who he is and who she gonna be dealing with. And she ran into this old dude named Oni, something with an O. Anyhow, he invited her back to his place to look at some of the things that he had on Wade. And he was one of the newspaper guys, and he said that they were, sorry, I'm looking for his name. They said that he said that they were squashing the story because they didn't want to lose out on all the money and everything else that they were going to do for the fair. And so, anywho, old buddy invited her back to his place, said, you know, I got these old archives, let's go. And then he's taking her down to the basement. She's thinking like, why are we going upstairs? And you said you had a son there with you? Like, what's going on? So she gets down there in the basement. He going all around corners and stuff. And she's like, bruh, we can't be doing this. So she peeks around the corner and sees a cage. And she's like, definitely not going back there. She hears a noise upstairs. She goes, are we by ourselves? And he goes, yeah, the house was built in 1921. It still settles. And she like, not so sure. And he goes like, it's okay. Are you still down for this or not? Orin, O-R-I-N, Orin is his name. And so he shows her all the clips and like the back then he was a friend of a cop, and so he gave him crime scene photos and everything else. And so he was like, yo, some of the stuff is gruesome, this is why I kept it downstairs so none of my kids can be looking at it. And he's like, okay, so go ahead and look at this stuff. I got something else I want to set up and see. And she's like, why is this dude trying to leave me in this cage like area? Like, he want me to come in there, and I'm just, and she's like, so she's like, well, he's an old dude, he can't do too much to me. So he's out around a different corner, setting stuff up, and so she could hear him shuffling around. So she's like, okay, fine, let me just go in here and let me look. And so she goes in there, takes notes and everything else, and sees crime scene photos, and then all of a sudden she don't hear nothing no more. And she goes, Oren, hello, Oren, where you at, where you be? And so he was like, he didn't say anything. He just flipped something on, and you could hear the voice of Wade. And she's like, the heck? He was setting up an old video footage of the interrogation. And so from there on, she did all the information stuff, and then come to find out, after she left, she's trying to find parking. It's dark on the street lights are on. She's trying to meet Colin at her 5 o'clock appointment. This is October, so of course fall, it gets dark early. And so the girl is walking to the building. She's like, who is this man in the trench coat? Turn around, it's her soon-to-be ex-husband. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Old girl ain't pregnant, and you know what this means. We can get back together. Like, she like, pump these brakes, bro. No. Just because she ain't pregnant no more, or she wasn't even pregnant and to begin with, doesn't mean that you can get right back with me because you treated me like doo-doo. And so she gets back in there, and he's trying to do all this other stuff. He's trying to kiss her and everything else. And she's like, oh, no. If she was pregnant to begin with, and now she had a miscarriage, then why are you going to just up and leave your girlfriend to come back to me? Rude. I thought you were better than that. No. She's like, no, I'm not trying to take her side or anything like that or whatever. But you ain't going to treat her like that either. And so she pulls away from the kiss like, yo, bruh, no. And old girl, Caroline or Corinne, I can't remember her name, went and visited a friend or whatever. And this was after the funeral and everything else. She had it already set up, but she told him she was going to visit friends. And she ended up just, making herself beautiful. She went to a salon, and she got her nails done, her hair done, her feet done. She set up for all that to be done. And so she gets a phone call, and she didn't do it because she didn't recognize the number. She didn't answer it. And so they sent the text. And after the text, because the text said, what was it? Let me read you the exact text. The text said, Clay is a dirty dog sniffing around his old bitch. And then she sent the picture. And then they sent the picture. And she's like, oh no, he didn't. And that's when they ended with him. And then they went back to Olivia meeting Colin and everything else. And so she's like, look, I got a client. You got to go. You see him there. He's going upstairs. Peace. You ain't even. Okay? She felt a little weak, but at the same time, she's like, nah, we're gonna stand on this. You ain't gonna treat me like that, and you ain't gonna treat her like that. So bye. Peace. So that's where we are. Y'all caught up, and now we are on chapter 21. So it's definitely going to take me more than 12 hours to finish this book, because apparently I just noticed that as I turn the pages, it's literally 2 turns. I don't know if you can see it. Page 272. Page 272. Now it's 273. So it's literally 2 pages, 2 turns before you get to the next page. And I feel like I've been reading this book forever. Anyhow, let's see. Car accident left Clay with a head injury and everything else, but he was fine. He just black eye, things like that. Then Corinne is in ICU, and she has like back injuries and things like that. They don't know if she's gonna walk again. Sadly, the guy that hit them head on, he died. Of course, it's always the people that are innocent in the whole thing, didn't cause accident, are the ones that died. Anyhow, all that happened, and Clay came to Olivia's house all like, why you did this and blah blah blah, and somebody's following you, you need to tell me what's going on, and all this other stuff. Found out that Colin Cox, not Colin Stampler, Colin Cox was there at the wedding, or not the wedding, and at the funeral for his niece and everything else. So he called up Grandpa's house, told Grandpa about his sneaking around seeing his wife, the hypnotherapist and everything else. So Grandpa's like big mad. So right now he wants to go to the next appointment and see what the heck is going on. So there's that. And then Ian, the cop, keeps coming around, and he got shot at a convenience store. So there's that. And then let's see what else. Oh, Olivia went to some rando dude's house, the son of the sister of Wade's sister, Sherry, her son, and he's part of some weird occult type thing going on. And she was scared for her life because the friends of the guy that she went to go see was like, oh, we can get some more money from this and all this other stuff. And they're like, don't let her leave. You can't leave. But she got in the car and took the heck out. And so she left with boxes of old stuff from Sherry's. And so she's going through that stuff to, research and whatever. She's thinking that there was someone else a part of the killings of Wade, because he mentioned something there that how he wasn't the only one, he was talking to somebody else. And so there was all that. But like I said, this book is good. It's giving all the givings, but it's long as all get out, man. I mean, like, get to the end, okay? Please. Going back to reading it now. Okay, bye. Alright, y'all, coming to you from the handheld. Why? Because I don't appreciate this. Why? It's the freaking grandpa. Oh my gosh. This is why he was insisted upon being a part of the freaking, session. What the heck? I couldn't even think of the word. I gotta finish this book. I'm not that far done. But oh my gosh. Oh, and also, I had an Alani. I don't know if you can see it. Orange Kiss Alani energy drink. I'm like the squirrel with the coffee. Hey y'all, look at this natural light. You gotta love it. It's so nice and warm and cozy. Anyhow, I had to stop and make myself some tea. And this is the blueberry with, and then just one separate tea bag, and then another tea bag, which is different, is the lemon ginger. I always try and put lemon ginger in my cup at some point. So anyhow, Dear God, that's still burning your mouth hot. Anyhow, we are in just across the threshold of the last 100 pages. So we shall see how things goes, because usually in the last 100 pages, everything comes together. It slides all in there. It's ready to go. It's just shoom, last part of the roller coaster. Anyhow, it's still going. It's still doing. Corinne, Olivia's soon-to-be ex-husband's girlfriend, trashed her car again, and somehow the same night someone set fire to the house outside. Now this is how people have been getting killed, by fires and by knifing and slitting of throats and things like that. And so now Ian just threw himself into it and said he was just driving by her office, where her office was also broken into and things were stolen. So there's a lot going on still, but they're still kind of wavering with, did Ian do it? Is he part of it or not? And things like that. So I just left off where her husband, Clay, Olivia's husband Clay, was in the car with Corinne, and they were arguing back and forth like, when did you have time to go trash her place and everything else? I told everybody that you had nothing to do with it, blah 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 blah, and then all other stuff. So they were arguing, and so she crazy anyway, and so she unclicks the bell. It's like, you didn't believe me that I was pregnant, and blah 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 blah. And then next thing you know, she lunges for the steering wheel, and they both in a car accident. And little did Olivia know, because she went out to go meet Wade's sister, Sherry, her son, and she was gonna go out there and meet him in some sort of farmland and give him $300 so she can, that was her way of being able to talk to him. And so little does she know, the reason why all this traffic stuff is going on is because her husband, technically still her husband, has been in an accident with his girlfriend. So who knows? I mean, it's like almost what, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening, if that's what you call it, on day 3, and I still got a little less than 100 pages, definitely over 90 pages left in this. So wish me luck. Slow readers, that's how it is. Okay, y'all. It's 10:58 at night. I finally finished the book, and my goodness, it was Grandpa. And he even went so far as to set Colin up, like, poor baby, like he had a horrible mother, and now his grandpa trying to set him up for murder and everything else. And then, oh my gosh, Olivia's dad almost got. Ian almost got. But now it seemed like towards the end, Ian and Olivia finally got together. Colin finally got his happy ending. He was in a music video, so now he's back popular with that. Grandpa tried to burn Olivia and Colin up in the that happy place shack that he was talking about, and Grandpa finally got burnt. He got burnt up, and then old girl came back, Mrs. Pollock. She came back and she said, "This is for my family." And he's all up in the burn unit, and you can't go in there, and can't, no skin to skin contact, no none of the other stuff and everything else. So they made her go in with scrubs and a face mask and everything. She's like, "This is for my family." She spit right in this man's face. She said, that was the end of it. She was like, "I hope you get all kinds of infections. Get them all." And all sorts of stuff. I was like, oh my gosh. This book was so good. 5 on 5 on 5 on 5, 10 on 10 and 10. All of it. The book was so good. Thank y'all for watching this spoiler review. Again, Kevin O'Brien, Mr. K.O. I have another book by you. Oh, wait, hold on, wait. It's called Watch Them Die. I'm gonna be reading it. I don't know when, I don't know how, but you know, all this other stuff. I'm excited. I can't wait. Mr. K.O. He's knocking them out, baby. Knock him out the box. So good. Kevin O'Brien. Check him out. He's like another Sister Frida. But oh my gosh. His thinking be thinking and everything else. Anyhow, thank you for watching Slow Readers Anonymous, where we buy more books than we can read in a lifetime, but most of them, they be good, you know. We take the time to read them. Have a wonderful day. Coley Cole, out.